Pop it.
Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to J for J in the morning. It is Tuesday, July 2nd, and welcome to J is for Justice. My name is Jay, and hopefully I'm not muted and I'm your host. Welcome in, guys. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. Yes, I was not muted. It's good to see everybody here this morning. Hello, Potato. It's good to see you. Congratulations to Potato's daughter. If you know, you know. This is for you. Oh, wait. I need some audio. Y'all didn't have any audio during that intro. Hold on. You guys didn't have any audio during that intro, did you? You had no music, and it was so uplifting this morning. I need a superhero cape. Why?
Niggas wife me once they get that good punani.
Why, Amy? Why? Yes, we are live. Oh, you had music. Okay, good. Okay, that's cool. It was like morning music. Good morning, Gypsy and Amy and Melissa B and Island Thrifties and Princess Mar and Lisa. Yes, I've heard the new Eminem song. Are you talking about the new one? The throwback one? Sweet Richard, don't you have anything better to do than be here watching my out of bed ass? You know you love it, Richard. Don't deny it. Good morning, Lips. Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Good morning, Marilyn Russell. Good morning, Megan May and Sarah and Diana. Both Dianas. Reba, good morning. Cindy Estes, hello. Say no to globalism. How could I miss you? Sweet Richard, don't let the door hit ya. Where the good Lord split ya. One-Eyed Flo says, don't be a dick. Sweet Richard. What a name. What a name. Sweet Richard. Kind of reminds me of something else. Sweet Caroline, something like that. Isn't that what it's called? Sweet Caroline. Good morning, Cindy in Knoxville. Amy says, being here for all the missing kiddos and being a voice for them. Thank you, Amy. And Melissa B coming in hot and gifted Cindy a membership. Thank you, Melissa. Cindy, make sure you thank Melissa and welcome. Sour Dick. There's another new song. Siobhan, welcome in. Laura Williams, hi from South Florida. Rocco Love, hello. Well, Laura, the first story is coming right from your area, so I think this is a good place to get started. All right. This one is for all of you in the bushes that say the police and the authorities don't do anything for missing children. Flo just gifted a membership to Joe. Thank you so much, Flo, and welcome, Joe. Happy July to you too, baby girl. So this is out of Miami-Dade County. This is Operation We Will Find You, and we're doing like a flash through headlines, and then we have a main story we're going to cover today. So bear with me, folks. We have Operation We Will Find You. This is a nationwide effort to rescue missing children, and it hit South Florida. So across the nation. But here in Florida, they rescued 55 children. The U.S. Department of Justice released a video yesterday showcasing Operation We Will Find You. This is a nationwide initiative, and it involves federal, state, and local agencies aimed at rescuing missing children from danger. Let's watch.
A nationwide operation to rescue missing and endangered runaways just wrapped up, and we're now learning just how many children right here in Miami-Dade County were saved. Local 10's Leanne Morjon just spoke to the Miami-Dade State Attorney and other officials. She joins us live with details on this operation. Was this a success there, Leanne?
Well, they say it was. Nationwide, 200 critically missing children were recovered as a result of this operation, 31 of them coming from Miami-Dade County alone.
Hey, police, U.S. Marshals, out of the house, out of the house.
Video released by the U.S. Department of Justice shows a nationwide effort happening in our own backyard. An effort by federal, state, and local agencies to rescue missing children from danger, entitled Operation We Will Find You.
The goal has been to locate critically missing children and to bring more attention to the epidemic of missing children in our community and in America.
Leaders in Miami-Dade County held a news conference to announce the results of the operation locally, which ran from May 20th to June 24th.
In Dade County alone, there were 31 recoveries made, but across the district, the 9 counties of the Southern District of Florida, we actually recovered 55 critically endangered or missing children.
Data released by the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office says that Florida ranks 3rd in the number of missing child reports to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. In the U.S., 1 in 3 teens are recruited for commercial sex within 48 hours of running away, which means time is critical.
These children are often desperate. They're desperate for love and attention. And they come from families that have been weakened often by trauma.
In 2021, NCMEC assisted in 25,000 reported cases of missing kids. 1 in 6 were likely victims of child sex trafficking.
1 in 6.
There's victims out there, and we have the cops and investigators to really spearhead and really move forward to make sure we put these bad guys in jail.
To make contact with whoever's out front.
The Miami-Dade State Attorney says that as a result of these recoveries, they have been able to open new investigations into suspected human traffickers. Reporting live in Miami, Leanne Morjon, Local 10 News.
Leanne, thank you.
Terrifying numbers, but at least they're working together, and that's what it's going to take. And it says nationally, 1 in 3 teens are recruited for commercial sex within 48 hours of running away, making the timely intervention critical. Yeah, crazy. All right, next one. Like I said, we're going to flash through these. This is a sad case. I can't play this video because see that little logo down at the bottom? It says Nexstar. Yeah, they sue me.
Everybody does that. It's okay.
So we can't play the video. We can't get tips for water safety because they'll sue me if I play it. So God forbid I make your kids a little safer with their video. They don't allow it. So I'll have to read through this for you. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office is conducting a death investigation after a missing 6-year-old with autism was found in a body of water in Brandon on Sunday. That's just south of St. Pete, if you're not familiar with where Brandon is. It's near Sarasota. Shortly before 4 p.m., deputies and K-9 units were called to the 700 block of Kensington Lakes Circle for reports of a missing child with autism. Deputies found the child a short time later and performed life-saving measures. The child was taken to a local hospital and pronounced dead. The investigation is ongoing. Just another case. You got to keep your eyes on your kids. 6-year-old. Good morning, Carrie. Sips and dribbles. What are you talking about? Yeah. One day ago. Our next story goes to Sarasota, Florida. It's a Florida kind of day, y'all. It's a Florida kind of day.
Coming in hot, just like the fajita.
We've got another scumbag who worked for Bayshore High School. And he's a pastor.
Tonight, we are learning more about what led to the arrest of the former pastor at Palmview First Baptist Church, that's in Palmetto, 43-year-old Jonathan Elwing, arrested last week for allegedly buying child pornography with cryptocurrency. The arrest leading to 14 additional charges, including sexual battery. ABC 7's Jordan Litwiller is investigating tonight. And Jordan, this is all thanks to some very quick action, right?
Yeah, that's right, Narisa. Investigators say this was one of the fastest child exploitation arrests they've ever seen, thanks in part to great teamwork and a well-organized system getting predators behind bars. Cryptocurrency, blockchain, and the dark web are things that can take years to fully understand, and tools some criminals use to feed their deviant behavior.
People that are in the child porn or the CSAM kind of world, they are some of the most technical criminals out there.
John Kathanik is the vice president of global intelligence for the cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase, which just helps the Manatee County Sheriff's Office take a suspected child predator offline. 43-year-old Jonathan Elwing is accused of using Coinbase to send about $10 worth of cryptocurrency to a source flagged for selling explicit images of kids. Every Coinbase account has an address similar to a serial number on a dollar bill, and whenever there is a transaction involving an address that has been flagged, an alert is sent to Coinbase, who then reaches out to law enforcement.
If you're a bad actor out there and you've done something, and your address is being used to collect, criminal funds, chances are we will have it on a watch list.
And as for the websites used to host the illicit material, criminal justice professor Tom Holt says criminal activity on common search engines can be monitored pretty easily.
If they're made aware that there is CSAM content on their platforms, they are by law required to actively take it down and then facilitate investigations to the extent possible.
Which leads many criminals to turn to websites on the dark web.
They're separate from the traditional internet, so you don't have the capacity, like with a Google or Bing or whomever, to proactively detect and remove content. Instead, on the dark web, people can just host anything and everything that they want.
And Elwing's bond hearing was scheduled for this morning, but ended up being postponed to Wednesday, July 3rd. Reporting live in the studio, Jordan Litwiller, ABC 7, your local station.
So this scumbag is going to be in court tomorrow, and you can bet your butt that I am going to follow this. Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. So, regarding the lawsuit, it was during the Gabby Petito case. And, you know, I was playing their videos. I was streaming constantly. And then one particular video that they struck me over on YouTube was when they got the TikTokers got that plane and it carried that banner and it said Justice for Gabby. That was one of them. And I thought, wow, you people really don't care about justice for Gabby. And here is Gabby's family made WFLA their main channel to go to. And they did win Sips and Dribbles because it's a federal case. It's a federal copyright case. And copyright lawyers cost upwards of $500 an hour. My streams alone were 8 hours each. So just for a lawyer to even review what I played would be tens of thousands of dollars. So no, I lost. And then they got an injunction against me, which is what they wanted all along, which means I can't use their footage, any of their videos. So if I do, they get like $150,000 per incident. So no, I can't. And yes, they can win because the judge signed on that shit. So that's just how it is. Okay, next story. All right, this is going to take us on the other side, flip side of the coin. Another Florida case. But instead of it being illegal males, good morning, Daff. Instead of it being illegal males, this is an illegal female raping a 12-year-old boy in Florida. 20-year-old woman living in the U.S. illegally has been accused of raping a Central Florida 12-year-old boy. Amanda Romero Maradiaga of DeBerry was arrested and has been charged with lewd or lascivious battery of a 12-year-old boy. She allegedly raped the boy at the child's father's home in DeBerry. The arrest report indicates the child shared time living at his mom's house in Sanford and his father's house in DeBerry. The mother reportedly alerted law enforcement after she noticed her son was in pain. The 12-year-old then told investigators that the 20-year-old woman forced him to have intercourse. Based on information from law enforcement, it appears the father could be implicated. And he reportedly stated that he did not see a problem with his underage son having sex with an older woman.
Why were you telling her not to fuck herself?
The dad didn't see a problem with the 20-year-old screwing his 12-year-old. Sips, if you want to pay for my lawyer, hit me up. I'd love to countersue them. If not, zip it, because no one can afford to fight a multi-billion-dollar corporation. I can't. Look at me. I'm in my home, in my little studio, with my computer that gets bogged down if I open too many windows. Cut me a sprout. Yeah, it's just like Jennifer Soto, except it's the dad. Did you really? Hey, Easy-E. The woman who is in the country undocumented was taken into custody and is being held with no bond. The Volusia Sheriff's Office said Maradiaga is not a U.S. citizen and appears to be living in the U.S. illegally. Okay, so I want to know where the fuck she's from and how she got here and who the fuck she lived with. Where's her people? Where are her people? Who is she? Why are these people just randomly meeting our children? Why is she hanging out with this kid's dad? What the hell is going on around? I mean, what the heck? It's bad. Bad news, yeah. Poor kid. Poor kid. All right, our next story. For whatever reason, we're still in Florida. And this is absolutely sickening. We've got that man named Jeffrey in the news again. Because we all know if we say the name, we get demonetized. So, that man named Jeffrey essayed teenage girls in Florida 2 years before the plea deal, and Florida prosecutors knew. See that? They letting them all in. I know it. I know it. I know it. I agree with you guys. It's sick. Court transcripts reveal that Florida prosecutors heard graphic testimony about Jeffrey Epstein essaying teenage girls 2 years before they cut him a plea deal. And this is according to Radar Online. The shocking transcripts were released yesterday as part of the 2006 grand jury investigation. Back in February, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill allowing for the release of approximately 150 pages. While the judge scheduled a hearing for next week, which was expected to cover how and when to uncover the transcripts, he made a shocking decision on Monday to release them. With the transcript's unexpected release, it was revealed that the grand jury heard graphic testimony from Epstein's teenage victims, some of which were as young as 14 years old. The teenage girls testified in detail about Epstein essaying them at his Palm Beach mansion and told detectives that they were paid to find more girls for that man named Jeffrey. The details in the record will be outrageous to decent people, said the judge. The testimony taken by the grand jury concerns activity ranging from grossly unacceptable to rape. All of the conduct at issue is sexually deviant, disgusting, and criminal. 2 years after the grand jury heard the victim's testimony, South Florida prosecutors cut a deal with Epstein in 2008, which has long been criticized for being too lenient, and raised questions about that man named Jeffrey's ties to the rich and powerful. The 2008 plea deal allowed that man named Jeffrey to avoid more serious federal charges in exchange for pleading guilty to state charges of procuring a person under 18 for prostitution and solicitation of a prostitute. Epstein was sentenced to 1.5 years behind bars following 1 year of house arrest and was registered as a sex offender. As Radar Online recently reported, a New York judge recently dismissed our lawsuit forcing the FBI to release documents related to its sex trafficking investigation into Jeffrey and his high-profile connections. So Radar Online actually was suing the FBI to force them to release all of the documents so they could see who was all involved, and a judge dismissed it. This shit is so deep. I know. It's so deep. It's so disgusting. Whew. Unbelievable. Exactly, Eazy-E. Oh, a year of house arrest? That's where he was doing all the nasty shit he did. Was at home. All right, our next story takes us to Polk County, Florida, and our favorite sheriff, Mr. Grady Judd. We have an update from Mr. Grady Judd. Let's take a listen. Oh, America's favorite sheriff.
Hello, everyone. It's time for morning briefing. I hope you have your favorite coffee. This is Bespoke Physical Therapy. They're in Winter Haven. Now, if you need some physical therapy, they can help you out. Wonderful people doing a wonderful job for our community. They sent us this nice cup that I'm going to drink my coffee out of. Before I tell you a story you're just not going to believe. You can't make this stuff up. It's got to be true. This is Aaliyah Ross. She's 27. She and her husband, Devin, get into an argument in their house. And Devin goes outside, allegedly to calm down. But while he's in the process of calming down, he throws a cinder block onto her vehicle.
This is nuts.
Well, that makes her mad. Did I mention to you that when Devin went outside, he took his 16-month-old son, well, actually their 16-month-old son, outside. Well, when the cinder block went onto the car, it made Aaliyah even madder. So she got into the car, and she lunged forward in the car like she was going to run over him. Now, he's holding the 16-month-old baby. Well, she said, I guess he didn't get out of the way, so she lunged again and ran over Devin and her 16-month-old baby. Did you hear what it said? She ran over her boyfriend and their baby. Like bump, 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 run over them, okay? Then she runs the car into a neighbor's house, which...
He said, like, bump, bump, bump. This lady, look at his face. He's like, bump, 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 run her over.
Bump, run over him, okay? Then she runs the car into a neighbor's house, which is supposed to be some kind of relative. She leaves with the baby. She's injured. Devin is on his way to the hospital, calls her and says, you've got to take the baby to the hospital. She said, no, I'm going to leave him at the house. So she drives back to the house and puts the child in the house by himself.
The fuck?
And then she takes off again. Devin goes back to the house, picks the baby up, and they both go to the hospital. Listen to me.
Dude.
The baby is in critical condition.
What is that, Shauna?
In the hospital in Tampa. And after she runs over her baby, after she leaves with him, she brings him back to the house and leaves him alone and him in critical condition at 16 months old. And then she takes off again. So obviously, we're not impressed with her conduct. She's clearly violated all kinds of laws of the state of Florida. So we track her down in Orlando at her sister's. Our colleagues from the Orange County Sheriff's Office helped us by taking her into custody until we could get there and interview her.
Hey,
She's
James.
locked up on too many charges to talk about in the short video. You talking about crazy? Here's a crazy woman. Have a good day.
I mean, he's funny, but he's not. It's not a funny matter. This woman literally, these are her charges. Aggravated child abuse, aggravated battery, simple battery, child neglect and abuse, and hit and run with injury. I mean, Shauna, I'm interested in your opinion. Why do you think that we're seeing so many babies dying based on some stats and a law overturn? You think because of what? Why are we hearing so much about parents hurting their own children? Good morning, Robin. Good morning.
In the short video. You talking about crazy? Here's a crazy woman.
And we love Grady Judd. We love Grady Judd.
What you are witnessing is real. The participants are not actors.
Because of abortion laws? But what is that? Why would you? Because they don't want to have these kids? Is that what you're thinking? I think it's probably a drug epidemic and probably what you're saying. I don't know. It's scary as hell, I can tell you that. It really is. I mean, I guess there's a lot of, different variables. Our world is changing. It's evolving. It's constantly changing. Here is another story for y'all before we get into our main story, which is going to be tough to listen to, like all the other kid stories we cover, but it's for education purposes. Here is another Florida story.
Years is now in custody. West 2's Tony Atkins is live in Osceola. Man accused of sexually abusing an underage girl for years is now in custody. West 2's Tony Atkins is live
Another
in Osceola
Stephen
County where the
Stearns.
man is being held this morning. Tony, deputies say this started when
Osceola County in with Stearns. Capital sexual battery.
the girl was just 8 years old.
Sonica and the investigators, they say it went on until she was about 12 years old. Now this girl is 16 years old and she's finally coming forth about what she says happened years ago. It all led to the arrest of this man, 24-year-old Giancarlo Gonzalez Nieves, and the Osceola County Sheriff's Office, they say he was over the age of 18 at the time.
Can you imagine this guy attacking you when you're 8? He's 24.
The alleged abuse. They shared this video of the man handcuffed and being taken into custody. He was personally walked by.
Look at him. Look at him. And there's the damn sheriff who leaked the video of Madeline. There's the sheriff that leaked the crime scene photo. Right there.
Marco Lopez. The sheriff says Gonzalez Nieves admitted to the abuse, saying it happened at a house in Kissimmee. He's charged with sexual battery of a victim under the age of 12, which is a capital sexual offense here in the state of Florida.
See, I want to know how he came into contact with an 8-year-old and had access to her.
And she's brave. She came forward and reported this. She called. So, you know, sometimes it takes that to disclose these type of people.
Why does it look like Katie Proudfoot in the background?
Just amongst us that prey on our children. And that's what our job is here, to put them in jail.
Bing bang. And right now, the sheriff, they're continuing their investigation, trying to figure out if any other victims may be out there. They say if you've seen something, or if you know something, or if you may have been a victim yourself, to give the sheriff's office a call. I'm reporting live at the Osceola County Jail. Tony Atkins, West 2 News.
So now Stearns has this other guy who's going to be, do you know how full our death row is going to be with these scums? Now that this is capital, our death row is going to be full of pedos. It's going to be full of pedos. So, I don't know. Interesting. Here is another South Florida story for you guys. We're just going to stick with Florida this morning. This is our last story before our main event here.
See that we're up on.
This is crazy. The lightning in Florida is no joke. If you're here on vacay and it's storming, or if it's rolling up on you, go inside. You do not F with the freaking lightning down here. This 19-year-old kid, college student with a baby, was unalived by a lightning strike.
I couldn't help my baby the last minutes of his life. I couldn't run for him. I couldn't run next to him, get me, not him.
An unimaginable loss. A mother and father heartbroken over the loss of their son, who was struck by lightning while doing what he loved, running.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. The teen was struck and killed yesterday when storms roared through South Florida.
NBC6 reporter Ari Adzer spoke to the family and joins us now live from Davies. Just such a sad story, Ari.
The family is just trying to process losing Ethan in such a random, horrible way as a lightning strike. It happened here at Vista View Park in Davie. You can see that we're up on high ground over here. This is a former landfill converted to a popular park. This is where 19-year-old Ethan Lawrence, who was a star runner at West Broward High School, was training yesterday when the unthinkable happened.
Every parent says their kid is amazing, but my kid was amazing.
Ethan Lawrence was a scholarship cross-country runner at Jacksonville University. He transferred to NSU when his girlfriend had a baby.
I'm still in shock. I am still trying to process all of it. The last thing he sent me was a picture of the baby.
The Lawrence family is reeling, but gathered today to let the world know what was lost in that flash of lightning.
I'm so grateful and thankful that I had 19 beautiful years with my son. We had an unbreakable bond. He would text me every morning in college, as a college student. Good morning, Mama. I'm on my way to run with the team. Hey, Mom, I'm back from running with the team. We ran 5 miles. My legs feel like bricks. He's just telling me his day, FaceTiming me, calling me.
My wife asked him one time, do you have any regrets of anything? He said, no, nothing. No regret of leaving Jacksonville and coming here, or going to work here, or anything. He enjoyed his life.
I want to strangle someone, but there's nothing I can do. I couldn't help my baby the last minutes of his life. I couldn't run for him. I couldn't run next to him, get me, not him. I gave my son, when he graduated, a gold chain with a cross. Today, we went to the site, and Ethan led me to where he was struck. And I saw the hole on the ground. And I looked down, and my husband said, look, his cross. That's him telling me, Mom, I'm okay.
Wow.
I'm okay, you be okay.
Go! And we're off! Ethan ran in the first Aiden Perry 5K to honor a young man who died trying to rescue a drowning person. Since then, Aiden's mom and Ethan's mom have become friends. Now they share the same horrific pain.
The only thing that gives me comfort is he died doing what he loved, running.
Ethan's mom told us that a witness said the park's lightning detector alarm did not go off. There was simply no warning for Ethan to take cover yesterday. We're live in...
I didn't know they had lightning detectors. Did you guys? Yeah, and I was going to say, his mom, that's a grieving parent. That's a parent that's grieving. For sure, for sure. So before we get into this horrific story out of North Carolina, of Trails Carolina camp, a lot of you saw this story on Nancy Grace, but I wanted to give you guys a quick update. I was listening to Granny before I went live, and I heard T-Rev's buddy, and I just wanted to give you guys a heads up because this was very concerning to me. T-Rev's buddy came up on panel, Smoke, if you guys have watched any of that mess, and he admitted that he called in during the Madeline Soto case into T-Rev's show and lied and said he was Stephen Stern's friend. And him and I guess T-Rev have fallen out. And now he's admitting that he did this. So be careful who you listen to. If there's one channel that always gets the, groundbreaking calls and the earth-shattering call-ins, you may want to think twice. Yeah, he came up on Granny's panel and he admitted he called it and said his name was Rick something. No, not Chase. He called into T-Revs and said his name was Rick. This was just a T-Rev thing. And that he was Stefan's friend. And apparently he told Smoke, guaranteed if you call in again, 100K views. Just saying what he said. And I think that people need to know that this kind of shenanigan is going on, especially in such a heinous case as Madeline Soto. T-Rev, I'm just going to say, if you did that, that is bottom of the barrel. This little girl was SA'd from age 8 and then unalived by her abuser, dumped in bushes, and they're faking calls for money. I don't watch his channel, Lucinda, so I would never see that. And the only reason he's coming forward is because they fell out. So if you watch him, I'd keep that in mind too. He's blaming his autism and saying that T-Rev took advantage of his autism. Fuck directly off.
Because you're a liar.
Then he started, this Smoke guy then starts a true crime channel. Mm-mm. I know, Potato. You try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but to do that in a case like Madeline's, I mean, you can't get much more disgusting than that. It's really gross.
Wake up.
Potato says, well, Smoke, you were complicit all at the time, and had it not been for the fallout, you'd still be lying now. Exactly. True crime. It's shameful. I don't want to be in that same category. I was cool to him when he'd come in my chat. But after that, no. Don't even come in here. I don't want to be associated with that type of nasty, gross behavior. There's a lot of them, Carly. There's a lot of them. Be careful. Be careful. You don't do true crime while being a crime. Yeah. Yeah, wholesome, because he's grifting from these older women who think he's pure or that he's changed. That's what he does. You know, people change, let's pray. And then and you know what? I'm just going to say it now. I'm going to say it now. Him and his chat GPT posts, if you can't see through that bullshit, you might want to go back and take a second look. You're a member? Ooh. I'm sorry, Barbie. But yeah, it's disgusting. Thank you, Shauna. T-Rev, you have children. Why would you entertain? Children that he hadn't taken care of. I mean, I don't know why we expect more out of people. You find out that they're deadbeat fathers, yet you still give them money. He doesn't care about victims. He doesn't give a damn about victims. So now I got to wonder, did Brian Koberger really call into his show? What was the other call? What was the other bombshell call he got? So you got to wonder, are they all fake? Smoke said he only did the one. But so who did he put up to do the other? And he did it more than once as this Rick, apparently. He said, they want you to keep talking. Yeah, it's gross. It's really gross. So I just want you guys to have a heads up. These cases are getting sick. Like, I've never seen anything that sick. I'm sure people have done it. Oh, Chris's cousin. Yeah, I'm sure that was set up too. Yep. The mouse. Is that where that story came from? The neighbor. He acts like a Christian and then turns on his spirit box. Yeah, the dude's a joke. Trev, you're a joke. How dare you do that in Madeline's name? How dare you? If you even go live about Madeline Soto now, dude, you have no shame. No shame. I don't want to ever see him cover that case again. And if he does, the dude has no shame. None. Put a 1 in chat if you think Trev should continue covering Madeline Soto or even mutter her name. Put a 2 if you think he should shut off that case at least. The Kylie case, he had some shenanigans. Yeah, fuck him. Makes me sick.
Fuck directly off.
All right, we are going to get into our main story. Yeah, LB, me too. Especially someone who uses God in prayer in Chat GPT. Chat GPT. You can't even pray from your fucking soul or your heart. You're praying with chat. You're making a prayer post out of Chat GPT. Let that sink in. The dude doesn't even make up the prayers. He has Chat GPT write them. You don't get more fake than that.
God Almighty.
In the name of Jesus, Father God, Lord.
What's this clip?
Listen, man.
Oh, hold on. All right. We've got a clip. Let's do this. This must be it. Thank you, Jams.
Listen, man, I've been trying to get in touch with you. This is Chris Proudfoot's cousin.
Okay. Talk to me, brother.
I wanted to tell you a little bit about Chris.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I'm literally his blood cousin.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Florida. I 100% believe he did it. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why we don't talk as family. Chris, when he was younger, used to abuse animals. Okay? Listen, man, I've been trying to get in touch with you. This is Chris Proudfoot's cousin.
Do you think that sounds like smoke? Do you guys think that sounds like smoke? Yeah, fuzzy slippers on that. Look at his face, acting all surprised. Because someone's just going to randomly call his ass, right? And say, hey, Chris Proudfoot put a mouse on a stick with shit. Like, what is that even? Like, grow up.
Fucking fuzzy slippers and lip gloss.
Well, he was on Granny's. Let's play him a little bit from Granny's and see if it's him. That's how we'll know.
He has his own opinion. Like, nothing he has.
We'll go back.
And from where we were at real quick, but
hold on.
I don't want to be a part of a panel where I'm going to be arguing with Seth. Yep, I know it, and I hate myself for it.
Oh,
best believe.
He also doxed Cluminati.
I hate myself for it. I'm disgusted with myself, but you know, I wanted to admit that to you and to your viewers to shed some light about some of the corruption that's going on true crime on YouTube.
I mean, yeah, for sure. There's a lot.
Okay, there's his voice. Now listen to this again.
Okay, talk to me, brother.
I wanted to tell you a little bit about Chris.
Okay. Let's hear
I'm
it.
literally his blood cousin.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Florida.
Sure sounds like him to me.
100% believe he did it.
Sounds like him to me.
Corruption going on.
I didn't want it's just, it was sick. I hate myself for even doing the Rick Armstrong one, but I'm not afraid to admit it because that's just who I am. I will admit to my actions. I will tell the truth because
that's what it was. Rick Armstrong
was the Rick Armstrong, and that was it. Always trying to help him because it was always about him.
Yeah, listen, this is his excuse for it.
So there were certain individuals that would make content about me that were fake. Like they would make fake chats to put them out on social media that would
blackmail and frame you.
Yes.
Well, I know
yes.
Seth Rogers has done that to others. I know Seth has done that. I don't know anything about Trev, but I know without a doubt that Seth has framed people and blackmailed people.
Thank you, Lisa Rose.
Yes.
Lisa Rose
just
has
blackmail.
Just
I mean, just constant. I mean, sometimes even life-threatening threats.
Yeah, but he's using a voice changer to change it in octave. That's what they do.
As well, it would get that serious. I felt like I was constantly under pressure. I can tell you right now, I've done some other things I'm not proud about either, and I will go ahead and I will admit to them. One of them is I came on his show one time, and he had sent me the messages. I have all receipts for those, asking me to come on when he was doing a live about the Madeline Soto case, for me to call in and to pretend to be Stephen Stern's friend, Rick Armstrong.
That was you?
That was me.
You son of a bitches.
See, he sounded proud of it.
Oh my gosh. I knew that was so fake, but oh, wow. So that was actually orchestrated between you two behind the scenes?
By him. And he told me to do it. And I didn't want to do it, but he asked me to do it so he can make more money and views.
Yeah. I mean, there has to be there has to be some accountability from you though, because you're not a dumb guy. You know what I mean? Like
no, there's not. I mean,
wow.
Well, I mean, yeah, I feel like a shitty person for doing it.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
I feel like always trying to help him because it was always about him. Always about making his show better. What I can do to make his show better. So someone asked, was I paid to do it? Yeah. As far as payment goes, he was going to try to set up to get me more viewers for my show, which I mean, it's silly. It's so sickening to me.
So in other words, he was game until Trev cut him off. This piece of shit made a true crime channel, and now Trev cut him off. And isn't getting him the viewers that he was supposed to.
I ask I pray every day to God because I feel like that's just sickening. And I hope
we go to God.
I get forgiven for it because it's a sin that it eats away at me every single day. Hold up. But I mean, I'm not going to not ever admit it. I own up to it. He never will, but I will. I own up to it. I think it's something that's not right at all. It's something terrible to do. But he has this kind of mob mentality to where all of his viewers think that he's just this saint. He does no wrong. He doesn't care about these cases. He's only there for a paycheck. That's all he wants.
Why were you there?
The money and the views.
Why were you there?
And I mean, that right there is proof. And I have the screenshots. I had the receipts of the conversation. Him saying.
Were you also the fake neighbor in Sebastian's case?
No. Nope.
Just
the only
block
one that
that,
I've
Richard.
ever done was...
Don't bother timing out people like that.
Rick Armstrong. And that was it. And after...
To say like that was it. Like that's about a little girl who was... brutally sexually assaulted by her mom's boyfriend and then murdered. Like that's a big deal to add.
Right. I know. I know.
Severity.
Yeah, I know. And I hate myself for it.
Oh, it sounds like he does. Put a 1 in chat if you think he's really sorry. Put a 2 in chat if you think he's lying his ass off.
I hate myself for it. I'm disgusted with myself, but I wanted to admit that to you and to your viewers to shed some light about some of the corruption that's going on true crime on YouTube.
I mean,
Especially,
for sure.
So there you go. That's T-Rev's buddy who he had a falling out with, admitting that he called in during the Madeline Soto case and lied and said his name was Rick Armstrong. And that he was Stephen Stern's friend playing games in Madeline Soto's case because he was going to get viewers for it. T-Rev gets the money, he gets the viewers. Disgusting. He's trying to go around it now because T-Rev cut him off. You guys check out Granny's stream today. She has him on. He's still on. He gets confronted by Cluminati's husband. It's a mess.
And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why we don't talk as family. Chris, when was younger, used to abuse animals. Okay? Listen, man, I've been trying to get in touch with you. This is Chris Proudfoot's cousin.
Okay. Talk to me, brother.
I wanted to tell you a little bit about Chris.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't hear smoke in this either now that I'm hearing it again.
I'm literally his blood cousin.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Florida. I 100% believe he did it. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why we don't talk as family. Chris, when was younger, used to abuse animals. Okay?
Yeah, I don't know. Just be careful who you listen to, guys. Just be very careful. Oh, I like Granny. I don't think she's a mean girl. I think she's just more about truth. And thank God, that she exists because now we know. If you guys still watch those two, don't expect anything truthful or moral. That's all I'm going to say. All right, we're going to move into our next story. Yeah, it sounded like a different accent. I thought so too. He's never surprised. He opens his eyes real big, but it's so fake. So fake. Okay. This next story, guys, is disturbing AF. And I'm getting this information from People. And some of you may have seen Nancy Grace talk about this. There was a boy found in it's like a sleeping bag. I had a picture of it, but I can't find it now. But it's like a sleeping bag, but it's like a pod. Let me see if I can find a picture really quick. It has an exact name. Let me see if the name of it is in here. Let's go through this. North Carolina authorities have revealed the harrowing details that they believe led to the death of a 12-year-old boy one day after he was taken to a troubled teens therapy camp in Lake Toxaway in Transylvania County. The child, who People is not naming, was smothered and died from asphyxiation on February 3rd, and his death has been ruled a homicide by the Transylvania County Medical Examiner's Office. He was found unresponsive by counselors on the morning of February 3rd at Trails Carolina, a self-described adventure therapy program that works with teenagers with behavioral concerns. The report, which was obtained by People, details the circumstances surrounding his death. One night, this is the thing, right here. It's right here. His head was at the foot, and his legs were at where the zipper is, and his pants were down, y'all. On the night he arrived at the camp, the boy was placed in a bivvy, a small camping tent that encloses a sleeping bag. Quote, without incident. At the camp, the bivvies are placed on plastic sheets, which are then folded up the sides like a canoe, per the report. Camp protocol requires the mouth of the bivvy to be covered with an alarm device to alert counselors if the occupant tries to leave the bivvy. It's shut down now, retired. Because the internal mesh section of the child's bivvy was torn, the camp used the weather-resistant door on the outer layer of the bivvy to secure the boy inside of it, the report states. The alarm device was added to this door. While the boy was inside, he was moving around and making sounds, prompting counselors to remove him. Once he was outside the bivvy, he relaxed and fell asleep, investigators learned. However, he was eventually made to sleep back inside the bivvy. And once again, counselors noted the boy moving inside until about 1 a.m. While there were routine checks during the night, the outer layer of the bivvy, which is opaque, didn't allow counselors to see the child, per the report. In the morning, when the counselors couldn't wake him up, they allegedly opened the bivvy to find the boy with his head in the enclosed corner of the bivvy and his feet at the opening of the weather-resistant door. So his head was at the feet, suffocated. I don't know, Casper. It's sick. But you know what? Yeah, this one's closed, but there's tons of them. They're all out, they're all over still. Wilderness camps. Why is this even a thing? They had a license through the state of North Carolina. They had an NPI number for billing. The medical examiner noted that the alarm placed on the bivvy's opening and the plastic sheet surrounding the bivvy were factors that caused restriction of breathing for the child. The child was found half clothed, and this is what they're saying, suggesting that he could have suffered hypothermia because the construction of the sleeping area could have led to higher temperature. Really?
If you say Ferris Bueller, you lose a testicle.
Bullshit. What did they do to him when they took him out? You know? Bivvies typically come with a product warning on the outer weather-resistant opening. Should not be fully covered as it could result in condensation and breathing restriction. Immediately following the child's death, it gets worse. The camp issued a statement saying they were shattered about the death and were cooperating with the investigation. The Transylvania County Sheriff's Office, however, said the camp has not completely cooperated. The camp has since been closed, and the state has since said it's revoking its license. The camp has said it conducted an internal investigation of the incident, which, quote, concluded there is no evidence that trails failed to properly supervise, no evidence that trails caused harm, and no evidence that conditions at trails were unsafe or unhealthy. It wasn't clear as of Wednesday if any charges have been or would be filed. Maddening, isn't it? The frick. So I go back in time. And I find this article from 2021. Let's watch this video. We might get a little ad beforehand, but let's watch this video from...
Hi, Kate Player.
This is
here with
2021. Oop, fuck. My bad. You might have to listen to Kate because, oh, here. I guess I can mute her here. This is again from 2021. And this is from WB TV.
From their homes and sent from all across the country to a camp in western North Carolina, all in the name of therapy.
But WBTV's chief investigative reporter Nick Oxner has uncovered troubling stories and a trail of violations that suggest the program designed to help children may be doing the opposite.
The only thing I heard was my dad say, "I love you, these people are going to take care of you now."
Kathleen Riley is describing the night she was sent to a wilderness camp more than 500 miles from home in 2012.
The man said, "Get the F up, you're going to camp." I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "We can do this the easy way or the hard way." And he had restraints, and he said, "The police have been notified. You are a danger to yourself and others. If you run, I will tackle you. Your flight leaves in 2 hours. We have to leave now."
She was taken to the airport and flown to North Carolina, specifically to a therapeutic wilderness program called Trails Carolina. Trails' website says it's designed to help children and teens with a range of emotional and behavioral disorders, with personalized treatment plans and one-on-one therapy. When Kathleen got there, she was strip searched, given 2 pairs of clothes, and introduced to the group she'd be living in the woods with. These are called therapeutic wilderness programs.
Yes.
Did you get much therapy?
There's no real therapy that happens.
Conditions were sparse. No plumbing, no buildings, even a 17-day stretch without a shower, she says. A group of nearly a dozen kids with 2 or 3 staff members deep in the woods.
For nearly a week, eyes in Jackson County have turned to the sky and to maps in the search for missing 17-year-old Alec Lansing.
2 years after Kathleen's time at Trails, 17-year-old Alec Lansing died when he ran away from his Trails group, climbed up a tree, fell into a creek, and broke his femur.
Alec Lansing died from injuries and exposure.
He was found dead 12 days later. The investigation report by the
Fell out of a tree, found 12 days later.
Carolina Department of Health and Human Services shows Trail staff waited more than 5 hours before calling police to report the missing teen. And the sheriff's deputy involved in the search said they may have been able to find the teen had they been notified in time to send search crews the day he went missing. After DHHS's findings, Trails was given a $12,000 fine and cited for failing to supervise a student. Nothing else happened. In a statement, a DHHS spokeswoman said they found the improper supervision that led to Lansing dying was an isolated incident.
That the people that spend the majority of the time with them are not trained therapists.
Jonathan Hyde worked at Trails for 6 weeks last summer. He was paid minimum wage as a guide.
I had kids that were vocally suicidal. I had kids that tried running away. I had kids that would try and fight you.
With nearly a dozen teens and just 3 staff members, Hyde says adequate supervision was often hard.
Plenty of times where we both had to, 2 out of, the 3 staff had to go focus on one individual. The question of supervision there, effective supervision comes into question.
Hyde says he got just 3 days of training.
If I was a parent, I'd be pretty pissed to find out what the actual therapy that happens. It does happen, it's on a scheduled basis, but the time that they actually meet with a licensed therapist is very minimal.
It harmed all of us, our whole family.
Heidi Riley is Kathleen's mom. When you made the decision to send Kathleen to Trails, what did you think you were doing?
We thought we were helping her get some therapeutic help.
In a recent letter to North Carolina state senators, a lawyer for Trails Carolina confirmed participants only receive 1 to 2 hours of individual therapy a week and 2 hours of group therapy a month.
1 to 2 hours a week and 2 to 4 monthly. You guys, this place costs $715 a day, and it costs $4,900 to register. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Thank you, Titties, for donating a membership. Who was the lucky recipient? Barry Happy, welcome. Barry Happy, make sure you thank Titties for your membership.
So you sent your daughter to get therapy.
Yes.
Is that what she got?
To get help for, yeah. No, I don't think she got that. I think she was emotionally abused. It's tough because that decision, that's a tough one to live with. Definitely.
I remember making every night, praying to a God I don't even believe in, saying, if you get me out of here, I promise I will do whatever I can to help whatever child so they don't have to go through this.
What are the long-lasting effects from your time at Trails?
I have severe sleep issues. I have a lot of abandonment issues, a lot of anxiety, panic disorder. It's not normal. It's not humane, and it's just not what it does to your brain. You still don't even want to admit to it. It's just like it's still there, and they have that power over you.
So you spend most of the time in the woods.
Yes.
With people who aren't trained therapists.
No.
But who are
Yes.
but who are deciding what you're doing every day.
Mm-hmm.
And they call that therapy?
Yeah, part of the process, part of the program.
What would you call it?
Abuse.
It's awful.
Jamie Maureen, the executive director of Trails Carolina, wouldn't answer our questions on camera, but she did send a statement through a spokeswoman that says, in part, quote, since its founding, Trails has helped make a difference in the lives of more than 2,800 adolescents today. We are proud of all that our 200-employee workforce does to help others. Now,
oh, screw off. This is 2021. This is 2021.
the violation cited after the teen's death in 2014 was one of 50 violations Trails was cited for from
2014, another kid died. 2014, another kid died. So hello, Cricket. So in 2014, a kid died. 2021, we had these complaints. They've had over 50 complaints at this point. They were still open for a child to die there in February.
10 through 2019. It's licensed by the State Department of Health and Human Services, but records reveal lax oversight and enforcement. So I'll join you at 7:30 on Your Side Tonight, Jamie, to learn more about that.
Looking forward to that terrific report.
Yeah, under the care of DHS. Under the care of frickin' DHS. Seymour ignorance. I lived in a Camp Eckerd, Newport, North Carolina. I stayed for 4 years. Most stay for 11 months. Federal funds. What? They're shut down now since this kid died. Frankie sent her son to one. You were sent there from West Virginia for skipping school or missing school by your parents? I've got more information on this camp. Hold on. We're going to show these DHS reports. Yeah, it does, Jess. It does. It's sick. DHS hires pedos sometimes, like that Santa guy that was arrested for SA in St. Cloud, Florida. James Cox. His son Henry, who shot himself, who was producing the child prawn, he worked for the foster system in Florida, DHS, and adopted a kid. Hey, Patrick. I know I've got a clip of her as well. Camp Imahenu. I don't know what that means. No, this is in North Carolina. So this is a website called unsilenced.org. Oh, I'm not doubting your experience, Seymour. I'm really sorry that you went through that. If you'd like to come on the show and discuss your experience, I would love to host you. If you'd like to send me an email and give you a chance to share your experience there. I mean, I think we need to shed light on the fact that there's still camps like this that are running that have had numerous complaints. So this is unsilenced.org. And here's my email. I just put it in the chat. Vision Quest. If you've had any experiences with camps like this, email me. And we can do a panel discussion. If you've had an experience at one of these wilderness or troubled teen camps, email me and let's talk about this. Now is the time. Oh, that is awful, Cricket. So it says here, this is in particular about this Trails Academy, is what they call it. And it's for boys and girls ages 10 to 17. Length of stay, average stay is 12 weeks. That's 3 months. Does the program have a level phase? Yes. But you'll notice, too, that all of their websites mainly are gone. I was able to find the owners, and they look like freaking brother and sister. And just FYI, the owners are Mormon. I believe. Wait, maybe I'm getting these cases confused. Never mind. Don't hold me to that Mormon thing. I'd have to look that up. I'm thinking of a different family. I'm thinking of a murder-suicide that happened. They were Mormon. Okay, so we're not going to open each one, but I will put this in the description of the video so you guys can see it. There's a complaint. This is a survivor story. Abuse in 2017. My Trails Carolina story. I found out they lied. Trauma. I went to a wilderness program and it has made my life miserable. These are all survivor stories. And then these are random, talking about different camps. But up here, you'll see there's witness accounts. And then there is a staff list. The executive director is Graham Shannonhouse. Now, if we look up Graham, this is her. That's her. It's like Jody, what's her name? 2.0. Hang on. There she is. She's the owner of this joint. Were they, Cricket? You think that's what happened to Sebastian? Kidspeace.org NC. What's that? Okay, so that's her. That's Graham. She's the starter of this. And then we have this dude, Nick Pearl, Trails Academy. Now I'm not finding the dude's picture, but here is they have therapists listed. This is all their names too. Crazy. Director of student. All these people should be investigated, in my opinion. In North Carolina, the criminal statutes of limitation are 2 years on most misdemeanors and no statute of limitation on malicious misdemeanors and felonies. So these people who were harmed can still press charges. But here are some of the program documents because they have deleted their website. Hi, Myron. It's pulling up a web archive. I think maybe it won't come up. I don't know. I don't think that link's going to work anymore. Here is another report from 2022. Wilderness therapy was supposed to help these troubled teens. It traumatized them instead. Body found Saturday in search for missing teen. This is 2014. And this is that boy that died there. Searchers found at midday Saturday what they believe is the body of an Atlanta teenager who had been missing since Monday in a remote area of Nantahala National Forest in southern Jackson County. Alex Sanford Lansing, 17, had been camping with a group from Trails, Carolina, an organization based in Lake Toxic Away, that provides wilderness therapy for youths with a range of problems. A cause of death has not been determined, but there's no sign of foul play. Western North Carolina saw unusually cold temperatures during much of the period Lansing was missing. Lansing had walked away from a counselor during the trip, and Queen said Saturday that the body was found fairly close to where the Trails Carolina group had been. The terrain in the area off the Heady Mountain Road off North NC 107, a few miles south of Cashiers, is rugged and treacherous, Queen said. So much that searchers considered summoning a helicopter to remove the body. About 80 to 100 searchers were looking for Lansing on Saturday. So that happened back in 2014. And they still had numerous complaints. This place was even open during COVID. Can you imagine how many people were going here during COVID? Look at this. Trails Carolina COVID prevention plan protects students and staff during the pandemic. We have been following the CDC guidelines since March of 2020, says Jeremy Whitworth, program director. Maybe that's the guy that looks like that Graham chick's brother. Yes, it is. It's him. He has a mugshot? Oh my God. Why? Is that the same dude right here? Is that him? You guys, is that his mugshot in the middle? Please say it's not. It says Jeremy Whitworth mugshot. Is that the same dude? What? Jeremy Whitworth, 36, booked for compulsory school attendance violation? What the hell does that mean? This is Indiana. Anyways, this is the guy that runs the school. Okay, here's something they released, a statement. Let's take a look at this. Trails Carolina media statement. February 16th, 2024. So this is after the child died. This is after the child died in February. Oh, for his kid not going to school. After 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on February 15th, DHSS threatened and intimidated parents by demanding parents travel from all over the country to pick up their children, or DHSS would take their children into custody. Their children were receiving high-level clinical care for complex mental health diagnoses, requiring experienced professionals with full knowledge of critical medications and specialized treatment regimens. Normally, locating alternative programs and matching children for placement takes several weeks. This negligent and reckless move by the state denied parents the opportunity to continue to care for their children in the appropriate manner. 100% of parents did not want their children to leave the program. This kid dies, and they want us to believe that none of the parents wanted their kids home. Parents believe the program is safe and do not want their children's treatment disrupted by the state, which has continued to make reckless decisions based on false and misleading information. Local experience and knowledgeable DSS social workers on site have indicated in written reports and conversations with program staff that kids are safe, properly supervised, and at no risk of harm. Previously undisclosed by the sheriff was the illegal and unauthorized removal of 4 young boys, ages 10 to 12, on the evening of February 6th. The boys were detained at the sheriff's office until 1 a.m. Parents called the sheriff to prevent the infliction of further trauma on the boys who had not yet been informed of the tragedy. Parents were lied to, as the sheriff stated he did not have custody of the children and the children were not on the premises. We grieve with the family of the student who tragically passed and have promised to do everything we can to determine what happened. Based upon preliminary findings by state agencies, internal investigation, information and conversations with officials, staff, and known experts, everything points to an accidental death. The Transylvania County Sheriff's Office has maintained a biased approach in what appears to be an attempt to close a program that has treated and helped restore and heal more than 2,700 families and saved lives. The impact of the state's reckless actions is far-reaching. The 18 vulnerable children forced to leave a safe healing space against their parents' wishes have suffered permanent, serious, and unnecessary harm. There are limited places where parents can turn to find the necessary care for severe mental health diagnosis and complex treatment. This is a tragic and unnecessary loss for parents, children, and 75 plus staff members who have poured their heart and soul into helping kids. The sheriff and DHHS likely did not have the evidence to close the program and take its license through appropriate and generally accepted judicial review. No, bitches. Someone died and it was your fault. Oh my God. This is horrible. Calling and intimidating parents to pick up their children was an attempt to achieve their nefarious goal while avoiding fair and appropriate due process with full factual disclosures. And then on February 16th, here is the state of North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services sending this to that creep, Jeremy Whitworth. Notice of suspension of admissions. The Trails program saved our family. Our sadness and grief for the family that lost their son weighs heavily. As we manage through the aftermath of such a tragic loss, we face a wall of distorted media coverage and disinformation from groups seeking publicity and clout. It is not only disrespectful to the family, it is disheartening to witness how inaccurately our work is being represented. We are grateful for the outpouring of support we have received from you. We are pulling needed strength from your kindness. We are also hearing from our alumni families in the wake of this tragedy. Welcome, September Pours. Sadly, you won't see these letters in media reports or on public forums, but their kind words are a salve to our wounds at a time when our work is being twisted by the negative narrative that is being feverishly sown online. We hope you, too, can find comfort in these words as we all continue in our work on behalf of children and families. We've removed any personal information from these notes to avoid these families being targeted for their support. Unbelievable, right? Lynn, no one's buying it. And this is Jeremy. Right here. With his jaws. Jeremy's jaws. Scary, isn't it? Would you put these people in charge of your family? Here's another one. Amanda Mojave, primary therapist. These people are licensed by the state. No, they're not. No, Cricket. That's nope. You need to search up. They're in every state pretty much that allows it. Hey, Subaru. They are in Michigan even. You would think it's just in Utah, but it's not. Again, $715 a day. Look at this, celebrating 15 years. $715 a day and $4,900 to sign up. Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of abuse that goes on in these things. I mean, your guess is good as mine of what they do. Trails Carolina horror stories. I mean, scary. But this guy here scares me more than anything, to be honest. Ugh. It makes me sick. So here's another young girl that was traumatized by her experience there and shared her experience. This is one of their poster girls that they use to advertise. Here's another one they use to advertise. It's really disturbing. They make it look all wholesome and shit. It's very disturbing. There's one in Hickory, Hendersonville, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you be terrified if this dude was in charge of you? Let's go to this article. See what they have to say about this guy. Oh, here's a video. They got his toothy ass right here on the front.
There are 3 simple changes I tell all of my arthritis patients to make. Number 1.
Oh, I can skip it. Sorry, guys.
A group of nearly a dozen kids with 2 or 3 staff members deep in the woods.
For nearly a week, eyes in Jackson County have turned to the sky and to maps in the search for missing 17-year-old Alec Lansing.
2 years after Kathleen's time at Trails, 17-year-old Alec Lansing died when he ran away from his Trails group.
All right, well, that was it for that. But there's a picture of the camp, I guess. So this is how the 12-year-old was taken away from his home, okay? The 12-year-old child was reportedly taken to the Trails Carolina Wilderness Camp in Lake Toxaway, North Carolina, February 2nd of this year. According to deputies, the boy's parents consented to 2 men taking him from New York to the camp. This kid was from New York, and the parents let 2 men come in their home and take him to North Carolina, and he died within a day.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that, actually, Shauna. There's a lot of weird shit like this. Yeah, for sure, for sure. The child was placed in a cabin with other children and 4 staff members. However, at 8:10 a.m. on February 3rd, see, what does this mean? The child was placed in a cabin? No, he wasn't. He was in that pod. However, at 8:10, deputies responded to a call that the child was not breathing. Despite attempts to save him by camp staff and deputies, crews gave up. But I don't think they called right away. I don't think they called right away either. According to deputies, Trails Carolina Camp has not completely cooperated with the investigation. 2 members were placed on leave. Right here. $7.15 a day, enrollment fee of $4,900. It is accredited and licensed by DHHS. We went, a former teen says we went 17 days without showering. And this says that Alec kid died from a broken hip and hypothermia. So in 2021, they had 3 deficiencies: failure to properly administer medications, refusal to allow participants to call their parents, and making physical improvements to the facility without permission from state regulators. Prior to the notification of this death in 2024, DHS was last on site at Trails Carolina on June 12, 2023. Trails Carolina was founded in 2008 to help families and children who are struggling with significant mental health challenges. You know, these fuckers will just pick up and go to another state. You know, they'll just pick up and go to another state. Did you watch Hell Camp on Netflix? He went to another country. He even resorted to doing it on a boat because he couldn't do it anywhere else. He was getting shut down by the feds. It's awful. Proud patriot. I'm so glad you got out of that mess. The deaths at... oh, we already read that. This is that guy. Jeremy Whitworth, the co-executive director. That's the co-executive director. Would you let this man send 2 men into your home to kidnap your child? What the fuck is wrong with people? This guy's business is kidnapping kids to further abuse them, in my opinion. Over state lines? I mean, this should be fucking illegal. Why is this not illegal? Why is it okay that parents can let their kids be kidnapped and abused? He is, Kels. Kathleen Riley spoke out at her time at the camp, calling it inhumane and beyond cruel. So they stayed open during COVID. And if you go to their stuff, you can email, Facebook. Their Facebook is gone. But look, their Twitter is still up. See this? They have no one following them. But look, 2020, look at their freaking, look at. Learning about solar energy in Science Steve's class. Oh, this kid looks really happy too. Nature offers a variety of positive experiences that challenge teens' beliefs that many situations in life are hopeless and meaningless, which is why we at Trails Carolina find wilderness therapy so effective in helping our students succeed. Yeah, doesn't he look happy? Trail students learn to observe their emotions rather than having a strong reaction and gain a deeper sense of themselves by learning to live in the moment. There's a lot of Reddit threads about them. See this one? Oh, she looks really happy too, doesn't she? She doesn't look happy or relieved. Forest bathing. Trails Carolina has developed a 5-year outcome study to allow us to better understand the efficacy of our program. Is your teen bullying? 5 ways to address bullying in teens. Look at this. Many teens have a problem accepting ownership of their actions. No, you guys do. You losers that are freaking running this camp. What to do when your kid is the bully. How to help your child. Look at this photo. Are you freaking kidding me? Outdoor classrooms. This is really disturbing. Addressing trauma in teenage years. Look at this. Hugs from the camp counselor. Why understanding inherited trauma is critical. Look at these photos. Understanding teen self-harm. Oh my God. Graduations and reunions are always emotional and special days. Oh, the staff gets nachos from coming back in from the field. Practice and success in multiple settings to resemble the real world. I can't with this. One of our best parts of wilderness therapy is that sessions can happen anywhere. Look at this kid fishing. Look at this. PTSD can lead to aggression in teens. Look at this photo. Our Winding Gap campus, they have another campus, was especially beautiful this week and full of sunshine. Also featured is Brooke Stewart, our family programs coordinator, as she helped families through graduation, and primary therapist Sarah Hutchinson as she was writing outcomes for students. I wonder what these people think now. Success story, Jessica. Yeah, this is creepy. And then they played on the pandemic. Teenagers reflect on how their worlds changed during the pandemic. What is that? Family involvement in student outcomes. Look at that child. Her hair looks like it's either greasy or wet. This is her being reunited with her mom. Well, they make it look really good, you know. You know, a simple talk with your kid can avoid this. Meet Lindsay, our health and wellness director. Codependency in parent-child relationships. And I don't know. I just refuse to think this is good for kids. I think they play on parents who don't know what to do and want their money. That's what I think. So back to these this has all of their annual reports and their deficiencies. Look at no documentation of education verification. No one told her that documentation was required. Unbelievable. So apparently this boy was having anxiety. in this pod thing, and that's how they say this happened. But I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that it was him rustling around in there. He had no pants on. But I am going to show you a story from Reddit from 2019-ish. It says, My Trails Carolina story. So I don't think any of y'all will read this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I went to Trails Carolina around 2019-ish. And the first night I was getting death threats, and this one kid was saying that they would kill me in my sleep. While I was at Trails, this is 4 years ago. While I was at Trails, I got hypothermia and frostbite and now have Raynaud's disease. Other than that, Trails did end up helping me a lot, and I came out to my parents and discovered who I really am. Other than that, I do believe that Trails really needs to fix a lot of safety things and stuff like that, because I couldn't even go to the doctor for a week. When I got hypothermia, I thought that I would be coming home after Trails, but after, I ended up going to a therapeutic boarding school, which sucked. I just need to confide in you guys. And then he says, my parents said that I sent myself to boarding school because of my actions. That is BS. If you have any stories, if you've been to one of these camps, please email me. This guy says, 2 years ago, I was there when the kid died. He ran away and fell out of a tree and broke his leg. And then he says, no, I didn't know him personally. He was in the wilderness part of the program. I was at Trails Academy, which was more of a boarding school. It was all a scam. I went to Trails the summer of 2016. I'm not sure if it helped, and it was definitely awful. You are not alone. Hey, I just recently went to Trails and it sucked. I was in Omega and it was horrible. You are not alone. Even though I don't fight with my parents as I used to, I wish I didn't go. I was gone for the whole entire summer. The worst part is that my mom has cancer and I couldn't be at home to support her. It's horrible. 3 years ago. Hey, so I got out of Trails not too long ago, and it's been almost 6 months since graduating from the program. I spent my summer here this year, and I was at Trails for 77 days and in Foxtrot. I was lucky because my parents pulled me from the program because I needed to be back for school. I'm so lucky I was pulled from the program. I don't know what I would have been able to do if I had stayed any longer. My therapist told my mom she wanted me to stay there at Trails for another month and kept trying to talk my parents out of pulling me from the program. I was lucky not to have been gooned, which almost everyone in my group was. I was told ahead of time. Although I was lied to, I was told Trails would be a fun summer camp with many activities and I'd be able to have contact with my family over the phone, which was a complete lie. It was traumatizing to say the least. When I first arrived at Trails, I was rushed away from my dad, who had dropped me off as soon as I stepped out of the car. There was about 3 women already waiting outside. My dad got out of the car and we hugged, but only for a short second because the women were rushing me and kept telling me to hurry and say goodbye. I remembered my dad had asked one of the women, me, will be able to make phone calls, right? To which the woman answered, we don't really communicate like that here, mostly letters, but she will be able to make calls to family and friends on holidays, which was also a lie. Hearing that made me realize that both I and my parents had been lied to. After that, one of the women told my dad I had to leave and time was up. I was not able to say anything else to my dad before being dragged to a small room and being forced to strip completely in front of 2 women while they watch. They gave me a pack and about 2 long-sleeve blue shirts along with a pair of pants and hiking shoes. They gave me a pack and made me walk through a long pathway, and they led me to a group of 4 other girls. All the girls were separated out in their own areas. Most of them were crying. I was confused as to what was going on and why so many of them were upset. I thought this was going to be a fun experience, the women that had stripped and walked me there left, and a man came up to me and helped me set up my tent and told me a therapist would be talking to me soon. He said to go sit away from the other girls, and he also said to be sure not to talk to any other girls in the group. He said if I did, there would be very bad consequences. I was with this group for about a week, which I learned was the quarantine group, which is the group you were with before your COVID results came back. Once everyone in the group was testing, we were separated into our actual groups. I was put into a group called Foxtrot. There were 12 other girls when I first arrived. Do not get me wrong. The girls in my group were amazing and I loved them. And I did meet some amazing friends there. But the Trails program and most of its staff is sick and awful. The program is one of the traumatizing things I have ever had to experience. They made us eat each peanut butter on tortillas every day for lunch. They made us eat oats for breakfast, which were almost always dry, and rice and beans for dinner. I'm not complaining because food is food, but it was rare we got other food. And here, then you saw it on the damn website. You saw that the people that worked there came back and got nachos. This is what these kids got. It was rare we got other food than that, and it's hard eating the same thing over and over again for months. By the end of my stay, I was sick of peanut butter. I almost threw up eating them, but I had to so that I could make min for the day and complete checkoff. I remembered sometimes we would get tuna for lunch, and one of my best friends there did not eat fish. She never had, and it made her very uncomfortable eating it. After she begged the staff to not have to eat the tuna, and after giving her reasons as to why she does not eat seafood, and after her parents sent in and said she didn't eat fish, the staff still made her eat it and forced her to, but they wouldn't allow other vegetarians in our group to get a separate meal, which I feel is so unfair. It was awful. I remember on one of my first days in Foxtrot, there was an awful rain hailstorm, and the staff made us sit in our socks, soaked clothes under a tarp that almost gave no protection at all for over at least what had to be 2 hours in soaking wet clothes while it's still pouring down rain. Crazy about this was we're so close to base and could have walked to at least get out of the rain. But no, they made us sit in soaking wet clothes while the rain was pouring on us. The therapist did not help me at all. Never can I remember good advice she gave me. I cried almost every night to sleep. I didn't know what I had did to be treated like this. It was so awful, dangerous person. It was so awful, dangerous person. They didn't allow us to talk without them listening. They went through all our stuff. They went through journals we all had, which I was told personally, I had wrote many personal things in that journal through my stay. And when I found out staff would read it every night, that made me hurt. I wrote many personal things in there that I never wanted others to know. They strip you of all your human rights. Makes me sad knowing kids are there right now. I can't imagine what they're going through. I have so much more I could say about this awful place, but I have already typed a lot, LOL. But this did make my social anxiety worse more than anything. Trails did anything, it was worse than me. Parents, if you are reading this and think about sending your child there, please don't. Please do not put your child through this. Trust me, this is, in my opinion, one of the most cruel and traumatizing things you could ever put your kid through. No child should go through this. You will only waste your money and cause your child trauma by sending there. Please do not send them. Trails is a complete lie and scam. And she puts it again at the end. Past grandchild catcher. Whatever that means. It's insane. It's insane. Yeah, very cult-like and disgusting. So we have another video I'm going to play right now. And you guys, I've seen you mention this throughout this live. and that is Paris Hilton. And I have so much respect for her. Jody Hildebrandt, that was, what do you mean, where was she employed? She had her own thing. She had her own connections, business. But I think they were buying that property, her and Ruby, to have something like this. I really do.
Thank you.
All right, here we go.
Chairman Smith, Ranking Member Neal, and members of the committee. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today to discuss how to improve care for the nearly 400,000 children that are living in the foster care system as we speak. While my experience was not through the foster care system, I know from personal experience the harm that is caused by being placed in youth residential treatment facilities. When I was 16 years old, I was ripped from my bed in the middle of the night and transported across state lines to the first of 4 youth residential treatment facilities. These programs promised healing, growth, and support, but instead did not allow me to speak, move freely, or even look out a window for 2 years. I was force-fed medications and sexually abused by the staff. I was violently restrained and dragged down hallways, stripped naked, and thrown into solitary confinement. My parents were completely deceived, lied to, and manipulated by this for-profit industry about the inhumane treatment I was experiencing. So can you only imagine the experience for youth who are placed by the state and don't have people regularly checking in on them? I attended facilities with foster and adopted youth, and I heard their testimony that they feel like they were forgotten, being shipped from facility to facility their whole childhoods. Today, residential facilities are continuing to warehouse over 50,000 foster youth and unknown number of adopted youth in lockdown facilities. Innocent kids who have not committed crimes, kids whose parents didn't have resources to support them, kids whose parents passed away, kids who have already experienced trauma. This $23 billion a year industry sees this population as dollar signs and operates without meaningful oversight. It costs approximately $800 to $1,000 per day to place a foster youth in a facility, significantly more expensive than serving them in their own communities. What is more important, protecting business profits or protecting foster youth lives? 16-year-old Cornelius Fredericks was placed in a facility because his mom tragically died and his dad was in prison. His life ended after being tackled and violently restrained by 8 staff members for nearly 10 minutes after innocently throwing a sandwich in the cafeteria. They killed him on the floor of the lunchroom in front of dozens of other children. Emergency services had been called 300 times in the year leading up to his death, with 56 violations substantiated by the state. The state could have prevented this. Jasion Terry's life ended at just 7 years old. In his final hours, he was publicly shamed, verbally abused, left in his room alone for nearly 6 hours, and physically restrained by staff members until he lost consciousness. When first responders arrived, there was vomit in his mouth and throat, running down his cheeks and onto the floor. Why can't we as a society see that these kids are hurting? They need love and kindness, not beatings and restraints. As a mom, these stories break my heart. When your child is born, your heart is full of love of all hopes and dreams you have for them. I assure you that these were not the dreams that were envisioned for Cornelius, Jasion, and thousands more who have suffered immensely. I am here to be the voice for the children whose voices can't be heard. While this committee has the responsibility to move bipartisan solutions forward to protect them, I strongly advocate for the reauthorization of Title 4B. Families need resources and support so they don't need to come into the child welfare system in the first place. For children who do end up in foster care, we cannot allow them to grow up in facilities. The treatment these kids have had to endure is criminal. These kids deserve to grow up in safe, family-centered environments. I will not stop until America's youth is safe. I've helped pass 9 state laws on this issue. I am strongly advocating for the federal bipartisan Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act. I supported the Senate Finance Committee report, Warehouses of Neglect, that validates everything those with lived experience have been saying. And I recently went to Jamaica to support and find appropriate placements for American adopted youth who had been raped, waterboarded with a hose, and held in solitary confinement in a facility internationally. Their parents had adopted them when they were young, promised them a better life, and then shipped them off to an international facility to be warehoused there until they turned 18. How could we let this happen to them? Progress isn't an option anymore. It's a life or death responsibility. If you are a child in the system, hear my words. I see you, I believe you, I know what you're going through, and I won't give up on you. You are important, your future is important, and you deserve every opportunity to be safe and supported. Congress, please join me in creating a world where all children have a right to family, love, education, and the support they need. Thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions.
Is that not great? She's so smart, insightful, and using that as a mom, using her voice for these kids, man. It gives me chills. It really does. I know a lot of us watched her in the reality shows, being the party girl, but she's grown up and she's sharing her experience. Here's another video I wanted to share of Paris.
Every day, children are being physically, emotionally, verbally, psychologically, and sexually abused. There's even been deaths, such as Cornelius Fredericks. He was 16, and he was in the cafeteria and got restrained by 7 staff members for 12 minutes and died because of this, and this is all because he threw a sandwich. And just the type of stories that I experienced and others are so horrifying that it's hard to believe that there are people on earth that could do this to children.
When you talked about Cornelius at the press conference, I could hear the emotion in your voice. Do you remember when you first saw that video?
Yes, I'm part of a lot of survivor communities of others who have attended these type of schools. So as soon as that happened, that was all over, and it was just heartbreaking to see that. And just to see how everybody in the school, it was like a normal occurrence, because every day these children are restrained and deaths are happening because these staff members are not properly trained. And it was just, I can't imagine his poor family having to hear that when their son was just being sent somewhere where they thought he was going to be healed. And for that to happen is just so horrible.
You're using your visibility, your platform on this issue. Why? Why is this the issue for you?
I was never planning on telling the story, and that's actually something that I found out recently that is very normal with survivors who have been through this, because I was just ashamed of what I'd went through, and these places had really beaten into my mind that no one's going to believe you. So I just made a promise that I would never talk about it again. And
it's crazy because someone like her going through this, and we had no idea. How many other kids are going through this that aren't the Paris Hiltons of the world?
In my documentary, This is Paris, I started opening up to the director and just telling the story more, and then doing research and seeing that everything that happened to me is still happening today, but even worse. And it was just, I couldn't sleep well at night knowing that if I didn't speak up, I don't know who would. And I'm just so grateful that I was brave enough to tell my story, because it's been the most healing and empowering experience of my life. And my mom has just been so heartbroken and in shock because she had no idea.
Her mom had no idea. She kept it from her own mom even.
And she's just sad. She's angry. She was lied to by these places, because these places manipulate the families and the parents just as much as they do the children. And that's another reason I think why they've been getting away with this for 60 years in this business.
Because the families don't know what's happening. The parents
Yeah,
don't.
the families have no idea. These places put out pamphlets and brochures and make it look like this happy camp that your kids are going to be riding horses and their kids are all smiling. Being a child in there, you are cut off from the outside world. Anytime you're on a phone call, you are being supervised with 3 people standing there. And if you say one bad word, just like when I tried to, they would hang up the phone, take away your phone privileges. You would be locked in a seclusion room or beaten. I experienced things that no child should ever experience, just on a daily basis, being verbally, physically, emotionally, psychologically abused. I've been strangled. Anytime I would take a shower or use the restroom, there was always staff watching, including male staff members, screaming vulgar names at me and berating me and humiliating me any chance they could get, locking me in a seclusion rooms for I don't even know how many, maybe 72 hours or more, sleep deprivation, scream therapy where they have all the children around each other screaming the most horrible things at each other, just cutting me off from the outside world. The list goes on and on. Like it's when I think about it, it's just like I wish I would have spoken up sooner, but I just didn't even want to think about it because it was just so traumatic and painful to have to really believe it was real. But it was, and it's happening today on an even worse level. And that's why I just can't be silent anymore about it.
Why does Congress need to get involved? Why does Congress need to act?
Congress needs to act because children are dying in the name of treatment. This is a human rights issue. People should be outraged at what's happening. And children deserve to live in a humane and safe environment and be protected.
Damn straight. I agree. So you guys can check out, she's got lots of videos. She has a YouTube channel. Like Cricket said, there's a documentary. I think it was Cricket that brought up the documentary. Thank you guys for all of the support for this. I mean, we need people with voices like this to speak out and let everybody know what's going on. And the veil is being pulled down. Before we end today, and it's great that is, shut down now, but there's still a lot of work to be done because there's other places. This is a story I reported on last week. Bill Belichick, who is the former New England Patriots coach, is now being defended over his cheerleader that is 49 years younger than him by one of his former players. So we've got a video playing here somewhere. Yeah. Why does it do this?
Well, it's only the weight of the nation.
All right. Can I mute it? Jeez, oh Pete. Okay. So 2 weeks ago, it came out that the 72-year-old Bill Belichick was dating Jennifer Hudson, 23. They've been pictured on vacations in Nantucket, etc., etc. Now, the former Patriots tight end, Pharaoh Brown, admitted he had no idea his old coach was dating someone so much younger, but wished him well. Speaking to TMZ, Brown said, "Well, let me tell you this. The older you get, the more rules they try to get you to follow."
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
This shit's happening right in front of our face. Look at these two. Look at these two. This is absolutely ridiculous. The older you get, the more rules they want you to follow. It looks like she's out with her freaking grandpa. Are you serious, Island? 16? What are you talking about? He met her when she became a cheerleader. How's he been dating her since she was 16? This is bad enough. I don't think we need to make it much worse. Oh, he met her in 2021 on a flight to Florida. This is the guy that says, oh, the older you get, the more they want rules they want you to follow. Oh, there we go. What a cute couple. They're in Nantucket. There once was a man from Nantucket. So yeah, he's being defended by him. I've never met her. I've still never seen her yet. Anything of that nature when I was there. He says, one thing about Bill Belichick, he's one of the greatest coaches because he keeps it professional. He knows how to keep the main thing the main thing. When you walk into the football place, it's always football. Personal life is personal life, and it is no hard feelings. I don't really think about age once we get grown. This is their mentality. I don't really think about age once we get grown. I've just turned 30, and I've been telling people my body still feels like it's 26. Dude, I feel like I'm getting younger, more youthful. The age gap is the age gap, and that is my thought on it. My whole thing in life is like everyone find love and be happy. If he's in love and he's happy, that's all you can want for another man. The pair are said to have met on a flight to Florida back in 2021 where they bonded over the former student athlete's philosophy project before exchanging numbers and promising to keep in touch. Belichick even signed his now girlfriend's notebook, writing, Jordan, thanks for giving me a course on logic. Safe travels. He then added his signature and jotted down abbreviations of all 6 of his championship seasons. I can't. So when he met her on this flight, he signed it, signature, and abbreviated all his championship seasons on her notebook. Disgusting. He should be ashamed. She drove to cheerleader practice in a $75,000 Porsche, gifted to her by Belichick. And it's okay for him to groom her, right? There's her car. It must be the money. Yeah, I don't care if it's a lady or a man. It's sick. I can't. Here, he's seen getting off the boat with her here. Eight seconds long. I don't care that much. He says, I have been involved with Jordan platonically and romantically, and I consider her a good friend. I feel bad that she's caught up in this whirlwind. She is wise beyond her years, much more than any 20-something I've ever met in my life. The narrative about her character is not fair to her. Disgusting. Disgusting, guys. Right in front of our noses. I don't know. Let's see if he has kids. I'm sure he's been married. Let's see. I'm sure he does. He's got 3, and they look older. Hold on, let's see. Amanda, Steve, and Brian. And they're all coaches, too. They followed in Daddy's footsteps, and they're all coaches, too. Hey, Ryan Apple Snapple. Good to see you. That's one of his sons. Here's his daughter, Amanda. Steve. Ugh. Ugh. And then this is Brian. I don't get good vibes from any of them. I hate to say it. Yeah, disturbing stuff, guys. Disturbing. Tom is probably all about it too. Sure, they all are. That's their goal. They get these young chicks. She's way younger than his children. Yeah, it's sick. She's only 23. My daughter's 23. I'm so sorry, Joetta, that you went through that. Anybody who has anybody who has gone through any trauma that joined today, I'm really sorry, but if you want to talk about your experience with any kind of camp or, being goon or whatever it's called, please do reach out. I would, and if you're willing to talk about it. I know, Miss Vu, it's just disturbing that he met her 3 years ago, right? She's barely an adult and he's a grandpa. Let's face it. It's gross. Her parents should do better, in my opinion. He should do better, in my opinion, as this coach and public figure, I don't give a damn if they're both over 18. It's still not right. Yuck. But people will do a lot when it comes to money and fame and being a part of that, right? Happens every day, right? Season tickets, nice trips. They probably want her to marry him. I mean, don't you think when you become an NFL cheerleader, your hope and prayer is that you meet a football player or something so that you're all set? Exactly, Sarah. It's disgusting. He takes Viagra and gets it on with his 23-year-old girlfriend that's younger than his daughter. Well, John, I'm glad that worked out for you, but a lot of times it doesn't. I think it would be odd to me as a kid to look at a 29-year-old as a dad figure. It's crazy. Yep, set for life. Yeah, you got it. He takes the little blue pills. 50 cricket? I know, it's disgusting. I got massive ick from Mr. Beast in Sydney. Recently, it's all a bit too tweeny boy centric. Oh, I don't watch him, but it doesn't surprise me. There's a lot of nasty YouTubers out there. I'm not saying he's one of them, but there's a lot of people that have been exposed and they're not who they say they are. Next, she'll be in Playboy. Ew, Lindsay. Yeah, how come no one's getting a comment from his grown children, right? Yep, I agree. All right, guys, this is a wrap. Our Tuesday morning headline day is concluded. Thank you for joining. I will be live again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, taking your calls. I hope to see you then. Thank you for your support. Thank you for donating to the tip, J4J411.live. Thank you, Cricket, for buying flip-flops. I want to celebrate your purchase. I saw it when I signed in this morning, and I was like, oh, Cricket bought the flip-flops. And you're going to have to send a picture of your cute feet in the flip-flops so I can put it on the website. She said, cute flops. Thank you so much, Cricket, for your purchase. And thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. And don't come in here and tell me I'm muted. That's so mean to do to somebody who's streaming live. And let's pray for those kids. Oh, I have one more announcement. I'm sorry. I have one announcement before we leave. So yesterday, I got a text from Uncle Taco. It was either Uncle Taco or his wife. I don't know. Yes, can you guys share the merch link? We've got tanks. We've got flip-flops. We got slides. Wayne, thanks for listening. So one more announcement. I got a text from Uncle Taco, and I will relay this because we still don't know what happened to Sebastian Rogers, but he asked me to ask everyone to send prayers or good vibes to Seth as he's having back surgery today, allegedly. So if you want to send him some good thoughts, go right ahead. I don't wish anybody any harm ever. So I hope that his surgery goes smoothly if he is in fact having surgery. I was at what point? What's up? What was I doing? Thank you guys if you check out my merch. Even if you just check it out, thank you. Love you too, Global. Shauna, thank you for being here and for everything that you do, Shauna. Shauna, do you have a channel? Or neck surgery, whatever. His surgery. Wayne Randalls, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I don't wish harm on anyone. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't my place. And I was asked to do it, and I can't, as a human being, like, ignore it. Because we don't know. Thank you so much, Wayne, for your generous super chat. We don't know. And, like, I told him that I would relay the message, and I'm like, I wouldn't be human if I didn't. You know? All right. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in again. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. We're going to have a fun show tomorrow night. I've got plans. I've got plans for our call-in show tomorrow. Yay, Dina. The tie-dye embroidered hat is so cute. Thank you, True Crime and Other Stuff, for being here. Yeah, I do wish him well as well. I know a lot of people think he might be lying about it, but you know what? It's whatever. I don't care either way. I don't wish anything bad on anybody. You know? So, all right, let's dance it out. Let's roll our credits for Myron. He asked me to relay the message, and I did. I told him to go to bed, and he did. See you later, guys. So much for watching. If you enjoyed this live stream or video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my latest content. Want to take it a step further? Bring it all in. And join our community clickers by becoming a Patreon or a YouTube member. You'll get exclusive access to our Discord server, special channel perks, and much more. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.
Click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn.
On my ass.
You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
In the name of Jesus, Father God, Lord.
You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently.
I'm gonna get drunk and ride my horse.
Face the fact that I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call.
Thanks so much, Jennifer.
Jennifer loves horses. Bye, Jennifer.